have a video on us, sweetie.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
Hey, Mr. Martin?
Yep.
Jim Burke, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Chief over in Harper Woods. I thought I'd come over and see if we could meet face to face and maybe resolve some of the community issues we're having.
That would be awesome.
Okay? Because this seems to me to be like an escalation. I know you've dealt with our officers a bunch of times and the building people, and
Well, for the most part, the officers have always been really cool. There was only one officer that was actually a little bit threatening once. It was a sergeant, Marcelic, and just the city inspector came over and impersonated a police officer.
yeah, I thought you had voicemail on that. And,
Okay, that was you?
I've
Okay.
talked to him, and if there was some confusion on that, he's not a police officer, and he does have code enforcement authority. But what's your first name?
Marty.
Marty. What are you trying to accomplish here, Marty?
Well, with this garden right here and with the front garden, we're mostly trying to accomplish feeding ourselves, but we're going to build a garden right here that's going to be completely for charity.
Okay,
And we're also going to put some little signs up and stuff, like letting people know about like what the health benefits are of each group of
That's
food
an
and stuff like that.
admirable ideal, but have you lived in a city before, Marty?
Yeah,
Okay.
my whole life.
Okay. You can't grow gardens in the front of your home. Okay. There are ordinances pertaining to vegetables and certain types of things and plants that can be grown.
Well, I've checked the ordinances pretty well. Could you show me where it says
I'll
that?
be happy to provide you all that.
Because all I found in for front yard ordinance was that it didn't say anything specifically about a garden one way or another. It just said something about aside from shrubs, anything would have to be cut under 5 inches, but it doesn't specifically say that you can't have a garden in the front yard.
Well, right, but like I gave, like some of the stuff in here, like your neighbors are concerned that you're going to be growing corn out here and all this kind of stuff, and obviously that's going to be higher than 5 inches, and anything on the city's property you can't use. Okay, this is the boulevard, this is the city.
I didn't see
property.
anything that said anything that we couldn't do anything about the city property either. We drive around the neighborhood and we see plenty of yards that have
Yeah.
crazy looking trinkets and things all over their property.
As long
but
as they're under 5 inches, we generally don't have a problem with it.
none of it's under 5 inches. I could take pictures and I could make
Well,
a.
that'll be something for you to do.
Okay.
Number one today is you cannot have anything stored, dumped on, using our sidewalks here publicly at all. That's clearly against the orders.
Right.
437 is dumping.
Yeah, I wouldn't have asked them to dump it on the sidewalk. They kind of just did that,
Okay.
and I've been kind of just trying to get through it as fast as I could.
I'm sure you can appreciate children, number one, have to go out in the street, but if we had a sight impaired person that came along here with their cane, they would back into this, and obviously the city not only would be liable, but you would be too.
Definitely.
All right, you cannot store any type of a vehicle, trailer, or anything out in front of your residence.
Definitely.
You don't have room, obviously, in the back of your residence. We allowed you for a couple of weeks to store it out here because it looked like you were trying to build some kind of retaining wall or something.
Right, right. Yeah, we're just trying to get through that soil so we can move it back over to that
Okay,
spot.
and
But
we've understood all that, but this is not allowable under city ordinance.
Okay.
All right, so what are you planning on doing with this trailer?
well, this trailer was going to go right back over to that spot probably by the end of the day in the
What
driveway.
spot?
The driveway. There's a little pad in front of my garage door right now.
In front of your garage?
Yeah, all I have to do is get through that little pile of black wood chips right there in front of, or black peat moss right there, and then I can move this into that spot in the driveway. I just have to get, shovel through that.
It can't be in front of you. You're going to have a space somewhere in the backyard. You got trailers, boats, motorhomes, RVs, all that kind of stuff cannot be stored in front of the setback lines of either your home or your garage.
Oh, I can't put it in front of the garage door?
No.
Really?
That's not trailers, boats, RVs, any type of vehicle like that has to be back behind the setback lines of either your garage and or your house. Since you can't put it here because it's still the public, you're going to have to dig out a spot alongside the back of your garage or in the backyard.
What would I do about changing that ordinance? I would have to,
Petition the city council
Petition the
and
city
come in
council.
and ask them for a variance, or you can go to the zoning board and ask them for a variance.
because that's one I've always wondered about, because I read something that said, or actually there was an issue before where we had some rain barrels, and it was another issue with the city guy, that same city guy, I think, that we had some rain
And
barrels
the
in
other
the driveway.
question is, I have several complaints from your neighbors that whatever's going on in the backyard is there's rats.
There's rats in here? Come on.
Are you dumping stuff back there, or what do you got going?
No, I don't. I want to kind of show you guys. I don't think that you guys really get a good perspective of what's going on because the way government is set up is that you guys get phone calls from people complaining about things and no one ever thinks, I want to call the police and let them know that we think something cool is going on over here.
No, that's not true.
We've had over 300 people, families, kids, everyone. They drive over they intentionally walk over with their wagons and everything just to tell us how cool they think this is and how
Oh.
much fun their kids are having and how much they love the
I
garden.
can
So,
appreciate that. The voicemail I left you, I don't know, hope you saved it there, but I don't have a
well, the kind of
particular
people that
problem
would tell you that my backyard is somewhere where things are being dumped are people that are obviously really ignorant. And this is a bad day. This is like what our backyard looks like after I worked out there and had to bring stuff back here for a few days. So these are compost barrels. Earlier this year, there was complaints that I was dumping chemicals into the street, and I had to go to court for that, and I beat all that, and it was dismissed because they are barrels that I get and I repurpose from Craigslist, and I turn them into compost barrels, and the ones that I was actually making for that time were for a Habitat for Humanity project that we donated, but we turned it into compost and we use it as soil.
Rain barrels?
No, just that one, and there's one around the corner that's set up for rain barrels. These are all compost barrels, so we turn garbage and leaf mulch into
And they're all
soil.
contained and up off the ground, and
Yep.
you're not dumping garbage or
No, and the
vegetables
kind of
stuff
people
in.
that would say that there's going to be rats in my backyard or rats in the neighborhood are the kind of people that are assuming that they can put trash loosely in bags in their front yard and rats wouldn't run by and tear it open and eat it, but somehow they would chew through these plastic barrels and eat garbage. So it's a lot of ignorance going around, and that's part of why we're trying to do things openly to
Well,
kind of show people what it's
I'm
like.
sure you can appreciate the fact anytime you have some new concept in a neighborhood, obviously some people are used to old ways and things.
Exactly.
And, you know, and
we're not trying to give it to them like, we're not trying to crush everybody with the new concept, but we're trying to let everybody see a little at a time that it's...
No, but there's a fine line of your rights versus your neighbor's rights. Okay?
Well, exactly.
And we're here to make sure that your rights are enforced, but if you are in violation of ordinances, like all those sticks on the ground and logs and all that, it's a violation of the ordinance. You can't store wood.
Oh no, we're not
Yeah.
storing it. It's just, like I said, one thing at a time. We did a lot of stuff this year, so we're trying to get it all done.
We've been working with you for months, and it's you're always it's one more day, one more day, one more day, one
No, I
more
know.
week, one more month, and in the meantime, you're in violation of the ordinances.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you can't be in violation of the ordinance.
I understand the
What I'm
thing about the sidewalk and stuff, and I figured
saying.
you guys would
That's a
finally have to say
violation
something.
right there. Okay, that needs to get picked up. Or the thing is, Marty is I'm getting the feeling like we're getting like an escalation almost. Like it's going to be. You want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I think we've been more than reasonable.
I'm not sure what I'm pushing though.
Because you're not following the ordinances of the city. If you
Right,
were
but
on a
most-
farm out in Armada, you'd have no problems at all. Okay, so when you choose to live in a community that has ordinances and
But
is
what-
pretty tightly residentially controlled, and is under certain laws and ordinances, then you have to conform to those because it's for the public good and the public order.
But I'm wondering how these ordinances suit anyone else's good, and they
Because
seem to
rats will make a house in stored wood on the ground.
right.
Okay, so that's a violation of the ordinance.
Okay.
All right, that needs to get addressed today. Okay, you have to be 3 feet off the ground.
I
It
mean,
has to be-
I understand that. Like I said, we literally just cut those trees down a couple weeks ago, and we've moved them 3 times, trying to get them into an area where we can.
But it breeds rats, Marty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can't store wood on the ground. You can't have lumber. You can't have firewood. You can't have it on the ground. Same thing with those wood pallets. Okay, like you got some type of a device here for the barrels. I don't think that there's a problem with that because it looks like it's self-contained. It's up off the ground. All those pallets, that's all storage. That all breeds rats. Okay, that's where they make their houses.
That's a structure, though.
That's not a structure.
How
Well,
is it not a
here's the
structure?
deal. In my opinion, that's a violation of the ordinance.
Okay.
And we're going to end up probably having, because you can quibble with the judge about it. The judge will make the determination of what it is or isn't.
Okay.
I'm not the final arbiter on it, but I am in the business of keeping order in the neighborhood. Okay. You have your rights, but your neighbors have rights too.
Okay.
Okay. So, we're not an authoritarian police state here, and I think we've gone above and beyond working with you. And now, when you go and choose to dump all that crap in the sidewalk, if some blind person would have came by, a sight-impaired person, hit that trailer with a cane, or stumbled into that pile of wood, or debris you have
I don't know
out
if
there-
you've ever seen Blind Person, but I think you should give them a little more credit than that. They know
Right.
how to
Why
go
do you
where
Why
they're
do you
going.
think that there's ordinances about not blocking the sidewalk?
Because people complain about having to go to the
No,
other side
not
of the
being able
street
to.
for the
It's
most
a
part.
public walkway that's paid for by everybody. You don't get to control the sidewalk.
I'm not
okay?
trying to control the sidewalk.
Yeah, you are. You've denied access to kids on bicycles.
As I said, I
pedestrians.
didn't dump that stuff
Okay,
into
Marty,
the sidewalk.
and like I told you from the beginning, I'm not here to argue with you or quibble with you about. I can tell the personality type that you want to quibble on every word. You're in violation of several ordinances. We cited you yesterday because when we asked you to move the trailer off the boulevard, you went and put it up on the sidewalk. You cannot blockade, barricade, hinder the use of a public sidewalk.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, we're going to cite you again today for the soil and the wood chips and all that. We're going to cite you for that. All right, and we'll probably give you 7 days or so to clean it all up, and we're going to come back and check. And the stuff out here though has to go up today, or I'm going to have the DPW come and clean that sidewalk off. That trailer, what are you planning on doing with that?
Well, the trailer I'll just bring right back here into the yard for now and put it right here.
No, it has to be stored on an approved surface. You have to have concrete bricks.
Okay, well, I don't have an answer for that yet, but that's something that I'd actually like to go to court for and talk to the judge about.
You probably will
so.
have your chance, because if you're not going to plan on taking it somewhere else or putting it in your garage, then I'm going to have it impounded.
That is an authoritarian government. That's the definition of it. I
No,
live
it's
on a
not.
quarter lot. Other people can store their trailer right in front of their garage, and I can't.
And it's on an approved
And the
surface.
reason that I can't do it is because you're saying other people don't like to drive by and see my trailer in front of my driveway that I pay for. That's authoritarian government.
I don't make the ordinances, we enforce the
I
ordinances.
know, but you're telling me it's not authoritarian, and that's the
Well,
definition of authoritarian.
No,
so.
enforcement of the law is a government function, okay? Because what would stop your neighbors from putting in a circus tent and having live animals and elephants keeping you awake all night?
I don't
And
think
what
any
would
of my
stop
neighbors
them
would want to
from-
do that, but nothing stops them from having a party with 100 people and a bunch of tents and gazebos a few weeks ago and not telling us about it, and that kept us up late.
Well, then did you call the police?
No, I don't call the police for stuff like
No.
that. You guys have
Then
better
we can't do
things.
anything about it.
You guys have better things to do.
No.
You can't do anything about it.
When someone calls the police, when someone calls you guys, like say if I was to call the police on them for something,
Yeah.
they're gonna come home and the first thing they're gonna do is say, someone called the police on me. Was it them? Was it them? Was it them? So now they hate 3 people. That's just how it works. So I don't even let I just don't let it build up.
Here's our objective, Marty. We would love everyone to live in peace and harmony, okay? We would like no crimes to be committed. We would like all that stuff. Unfortunately, in society, it doesn't happen that way, okay? You've been around, how old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Okay, so you've got some life experience. You're not a 16-year-old kid. You understand that people try to get along, but unfortunately, some people rob banks, and some people steal from old ladies, and some people don't comply with city ordinances. Okay, it's all the same thing to us. All right, we try to work with you. We haven't come over here the very first day you moved in and hammer you and and start. We've been working and working and working. I've used the building department versus the police because I think it's a little more appropriate to have code people work with residents versus police officers.
Yeah.
But we're not getting anywhere. Okay? So that's why we have the authority to enforce the law, which is an ordinance, they're misdemeanors, and we're going to enforce them. Okay? Your residents are complaining. Your neighbors are complaining. Okay? And regardless if they are or not, my job is to make sure that all of the ordinances in Harper Woods are followed. Okay? So we're going to make sure that happens. All right? Yes, you have a little bit than the quote normal thing set up here. I don't have a problem with that. I think people should live pretty freely.
The reason we
honestly, in our
actually had to
society.
set all this stuff up is because our neighbors all use Roundup and sprays in their yards obsessively that are proven to cause birth defects, cancers, Parkinson's disease, all this stuff.
And again, that's
And I mean, so we had to do it. So technically, because of the way the laws are set up, they have the right to use poisons all over the yards that are killing us and causing my autoimmune diseases. But when I don't have enough money to live on a farm, so when I try to do things a little differently, I have to be concerned with codes and stuff. Which I really do want to work with you guys on this. I don't want you guys to have to waste time to be out here on stuff that's considered code violations, and I want to be able to.
We've spent an inordinate amount of time.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is that in working with you, we're not getting anywhere. That's my concern. Okay, you can't store wood on the ground. That structure back there is a violation of the ordinance.
Okay. Well,
So you're going to have to figure out some type of a metal, poles on the table or some type of thing. You cannot store wood.
that one I'll talk to the judge about, I guess,
Right.
because I can do plenty to make sure that rats don't go into there.
Metal rusts
Yeah.
and leaks into the soil.
This house is made of the same wood that those pellets are. So
Well-
if rats are going to get into my pellets, they're going to get into my garage. Everyone in the city
Exactly.
has a crappy garage, almost.
I won't get into the validity of that. I can tell you this, storing wood on the ground is a violation.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to cite you for the pallets, this stack, that, over there. We'll just make that one citation. We're going to cite you for blocking the sidewalk and hindering that. And I still have to have some type of, what are you going to do about that trailer?
I don't have an answer yet. I'll have to figure it out. I guess I can put it right here, up against this tree, which is why I originally had taken that part of the fence down.
You can't put it up against the tree. It's got
Why?
to be on an approved surface, so some type of, I think, I'm not exactly sure, but a couple inches of gravel and or some type of concrete blocks. You can't store.
Okay, well, I've got a pad right out there in front of the driveway. I've got one of those pads. I can put it there, right? It's a concrete block.
except it's a trailer and you can't store it in front of your home. If you want to have a day or two to figure out what you're going to do, is your garage full of stuff, I assume? Or?
Yeah, my garage is full of stuff. I've never been able to clean the garage. I had to junk the garage up the first time I had a problem with the city guy over stuff in the driveway, so it moved everything that we were going to setting up for our garage sale into the back of the garage, and then I'm disabled, so
We tried to work with you, Marty, but it's just, I mean, the wood chips I don't have a problem with. This doesn't appear to be some type of rat thing. Like I was told, the stuff was 12 feet high.
We've never seen a rat in our yards.
Okay, well, and I haven't either, but I'm just...
Okay.
I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to let you live free if you want to live, but you have to also have some respect for the people around you, and that's why we have a code of ordinances. Everyone has to follow the code of ordinances, and it's been a couple of, at least 4 weeks or more that we've been messing around with this, and I don't have the time or the resources to keep coming. I don't want to infringe on you constantly, be knocking on your door constantly, but you're going to have to, come to the judge, and if the judge says that we're going to take some pictures, and if the judge says that's all fine with him and the pallets are fine and everything's fine, then you know what, that'll end it. When the neighbors call and scream, then you know what, I'll tell them, hey, you know what?
That's what I'm hoping for, so, okay.
All right. I think that's fair enough, but
Okay.
I'm going to have the officer just take a couple pictures so we can document that we all agree that this is what it looked like today, all right? But please don't add any more to it in the meantime.
Oh no, I invited you guys back here, so, yeah.
I appreciate that. I've got the DPW here.
Yeah.
We're going to clean off the sidewalk.
Oh, no, I invited them back here, and they said this is what it looks like after a few days of working out there, so.
Well, I think it's to your benefit too, so we both agree that this is what it looked like today. I want to get some pictures, and so we're not in dispute about that you added something or didn't have something or whatever. So, I'll give you a short court date so we can get into court and we can resolve some of these issues.
Okay.
When they clean off the sidewalk here, we're still going to have to figure out, you're either going to have to move some of the stuff in front of the garage door. I mean, I can give you probably a day or two.
I can get the sidewalk. I can get the sidewalk clear today for sure. Even if I don't move anything to the garden, I'll get it off the sidewalk.
No, I'm not leaving until our Department of Public Works is here, and they're going to clean off the sidewalk today.
Oh, okay. Where are they moving it?
I don't know. Probably just on top of something else, I assume. We're going to have to get some rulings on this stuff, but we're not going to have this money. You can't have the garbage cans, you can't have that, and you can't have that, and you can't have everything else.
Okay.
And I hope you have that in context, that we've all been
I do.
agreeable here today, and I know you've been recorded, and that's perfectly fine.
Well, we got it on context too that I just offered to, for over the last 20 minutes to get the sidewalk done
No,
today.
we've asked you since last Friday, and then the weekend got...
No one asked me last Friday about anything about the sidewalk.
We've tried to make contact with you several times. We've talked to you a bunch of times about this. You've been told
Wait,
about it.
wait a minute. I'm confused as to you telling me that I was told Friday about this. I haven't been talked to at all on Friday. No one left a note on my door. No one came to talk to me or anything. This is the first discussion anyone has had about the sidewalk.
No, I have every single city notice from you guys for the trash cans at the curb to everything. I have it in a stack inside.
Well, our building
Wait a
inspector
minute.
came over yesterday and asked you to get the trailer off of the boulevard.
That didn't happen either.
He just said he was. No, there was no building inspector that came by. I swear to you, I was home all day. There was no building inspector.
He says-
Your police officer that's with you today came by last night and was taking pictures. Nobody
That's
else
it.
came
Yeah.
by.
No one else came.
I will swear on whatever you want me to.
Okay, well,
My daughter
I'm
is
certainly
here. I
not in a
will-
position to quite like because I wasn't here
No,
with him, but
I
I sent him
promise,
specifically
you.
over here yesterday, and your trailer was on the boulevard, and you went and proceeded to go ahead and put it on there. If we have a sight-impaired person or a kid come by here and get hurt,
No, I
the
understand
city's
about the
liable.
trailer.
So what are we going to do about that trailer?
No, we're gonna move the trailer.
Where are you going to put it? Because you have to put it on an approved surface.
Right now we're going to put it in the driveway, and that's right now we're going to put it in the driveway, or we're going to put it right here off the sidewalk because that's all we can do right now. And
That's correct.
okay.
The DPW is going to clean off so that this sidewalk is.
But I just want to be clear that we've had no warning about this, and now you guys
We
are.
have had warnings about this.
No, we haven't had a warning about the
We've been
sidewalk.
messing around with this for over a month, okay?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's a warning. That means you've been messing around with it for a
We're
month.
not going to have a kid get hurt or a sight-impaired person get hurt because you...
No, we're not complaining. We're telling you we.
I think it's obvious that the last thing we want is for any kids to get hurt. So. Huh?